It is Ryan here, and I have a question for you. What do you do when you win? Like, are you a fist pumper, a woo-hooer, a hand clapper, a high fiver? I kind of like the high five, but if you want to hone in on those winning moves, check out Chumba Casino. At ChumbaCasino.com, choose from hundreds of social casino-style games for your chance to redeem serious cash prizes. There are new game releases weekly, plus free daily bonuses, so don't wait. Start having the most fun ever at ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Hey, before we jump into today's episode, I want to tell you about an awesome free webinar that I'm doing this Wednesday, October 2nd, all about helping you figure out your life purpose. For many years, I felt lost. I did not have any direction, and I felt totally frustrated around the conversation of, what is my life purpose? I just totally hated that question. But there were very specific things that I did which helped me get to where I am today, feeling fully connected with my purpose, passionate about life, and knowing that I am living my abundant, loving life each and every day. And I want to teach all of that to you. I want to teach you all of it, and it's going down in this free webinar. Again, Wednesday, October 2nd. You can find more info on my website at matthewbivens.com/purpose. Again, that's matthewbivens.com/purpose. I will see you there. Welcome to the Having It All podcast, the show about what it takes to live an abundant, loving life. My name is Matthew Bivens, and each week I'm helping you get out of your head so that you can truly have it all. Let's do it. What's going on, beautiful people? Welcome to the Having It All podcast. I am Matthew Bivens, and I am thrilled that you are here with me today to talk about having it all. That's what we do. That's what we do on this show. Talk about having it all and living an abundant, loving life. So, welcome. If this is your first time here, I appreciate you. I appreciate you taking a risk and hitting play on an episode that you really probably had no idea what you're getting into. But I love it. It's taking those types of risks in life that will lead you towards having it all. Absolutely. Today's conversation, we are talking about purpose. We've been on this purpose series for the past several episodes, and this is going to be the last episode on purpose. And what's cool about today's conversation, as you can probably tell by the title, is that I kind of have this attitude right now of like, you don't know what your purpose is? So what? That's what we're talking about today. So you might be curious, like, how can this dude who's done a bunch of episodes on purpose, who's doing a webinar about purpose, have this attitude of, so what? Yeah, you're going to find out. That's what we're going to dig into in a little bit. But first, let's kick things off with some magic. Yes, let's talk about magic. Now, magic is when you influence yourself, others, in life in an empowering way. Influence, right? That's what we're talking about. Influence. All these amazing things to happen in your life. And we're recognizing magic so that we can connect with the fact that we are powerful creators, that we are creating our life right now. We are creating all the different things we are experiencing. And so when you recognize magic, you see how powerful you are and how much influence and impact you have on not just yourself, but other people and life itself. Life magic is like when you say, all right, I want to manifest $100. And then in some wild way, $100 shows up. That stuff happens to me all the time. And that is absolutely magic. So if it's never happened to you, give it a try, right? Pick some sort of number, pick something that you want to manifest into your life and see what happens. So I got two pieces of magic I want to share with you today. One, I guess the quickest one is that last week on my balance chart, I hit 100% completion, 100%, which is huge because my balance chart, it has all these different habits that I am committing to perform every week. And there are dozens and dozens of different things on my balance chart that I have right now. I've been using this thing for many years, and over time, I've added more and more little habits to it. So like, there's a lot of stuff, and it takes hours and hours and hours to complete it all. But last week, I just locked in my mind that I was going to get 100%. And lo and behold, last night, towards the end of the evening on Sunday, locked in that 100%, and it feels freaking amazing, people. It really does. To show up for myself completely, to get that 100% feels incredible. So that right there is some self magic. My second piece of magic has to do with the conversation that I had last week. A man reached out to me on Instagram wanting to, I guess, talk about how he could help me with my Instagram marketing and my overall social media marketing strategy. And I was open to a conversation, so we jumped on the phone and we started talking. And what was really cool is we talked about 30 minutes about Instagram stuff. And throughout that conversation, he sprinkled in there that he was familiar with my podcast. He had listened to the show. He dug the message. He had shared it with his dad. His dad really liked it too. So he sprinkled in there that he knew who I was and knew what I was about. And so after our 30-minute business conversation, he tells me that he's going to send me some info for me to look at. And I said, great, I'll probably be able to check it out on Friday because on Thursday, I don't work. I hang out with my daughter all day long and I'm totally unplugged. And he says, man, I'm wanting to have that same sort of life balance. And boy, once he said the word balance, I was in. Like the door was cracked open. And when he said balance, I was like the Kool-Aid man. I just knocked that crap right off the hinges. And we went in. And I went in on him talking about balance and the importance of making deposits in yourself and how when you build that trust up in yourself, it creates a space for you to go and be your most authentic self. And we talked about purpose and we talked about fulfillment, and it was incredible. And the magic in that was what I told him. I said, I believe and I know that we didn't meet. We're not having this conversation just so that you could help me with social media. We met so that you could get your life out of our relationship. And he was right there with me. And so we talked about how we can be mutually helping one another. And it was beautiful. It was beautiful. It was synergistic. And it was the type of conversation that, I end up having a lot of the time. Because when people learn what I do and what I stand for and what I talk about on this podcast, it creates all sorts of things that stirs some things up. So I love the fact that I was able to get into this conversation. It wasn't where I thought it was going to go in the beginning, but man, when that door was cracked open, we went there and it was beautiful. It was magical. So those are my two pieces of magic. And now I invite you to reflect. Think about magic that you've created in your life. Maybe it's small magic. Maybe you found a quarter on the ground. Who knows? That might be big magic to you, right? Small magic, big magic, doesn't matter. All of it is worth recognizing because it all connects back to your power as an influencer. All right? So pause the episode now. Think about your magic.
Hey guys, it is Ryan. I'm not sure if you know this about me, but I'm a bit of a fun fanatic when I can. I like to work, but I like fun too. It's a thing. And now the truth is out there. I can tell you about my favorite place to have fun. Chumba Casino. They have hundreds of social casino style games to choose from with new games released each week. You can play for free anytime, anywhere. And each day brings a new chance to collect daily bonuses. So join me in the fun. Sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. That should brighten your day a little. Actually, a lot. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
And we're going to move on to listener love. I got a shout out I want to give to Anthony on Instagram today. Anthony, I appreciate you listening to the podcast for the first time. That's cool. Like I said at the top of the episode, it's a risk. Whenever you try out a new podcast, it's a risk because you can't get that time back. So thank you for taking that risk. And thank you, Anthony, for reaching out to me to give me some feedback on the show and reaching out through Instagram. That was awesome. I loved hearing your thoughts. And one of the things that you said, Anthony, that stood out to me is you said, I believe the universe will provide you signs when you need them most. And I 100% agree, especially with that part when you need them most. It's like those moments when we just feel like we're at the bottom, that we're about to crack, that we're literally milliseconds away from like losing our stuff, that the universe can drop some sign in front of us. and that we can get, that little bit of help, that breakthrough that we need. And so I'm totally there with you, man. I believe the universe does provide us signs, especially when we need them most. And as long as we have our antennas tuned to the frequency of gratitude, tuned to the frequency of abundance, tuned to the frequency of love, we can catch those universe messages, because they certainly come in at the frequency of gratitude, abundance, and love. So, Anthony, thank you so much for reaching out. I appreciate you. And if you all want to be like Anthony and connect with me on Instagram and get into a cool conversation, you can reach me, Matthew_Bivens. That's my Instagram handle, Matthew_Bivens. You can DM me there. I love getting into conversations with you. You can also hit me up on my email. My personal Gmail address is mattcbivens@gmail.com, and we can get into a dialogue there as well. I really love having conversations outside the podcast. I truly, truly do. And anybody who's connected with me knows that, I get into the conversation with you. It's not just like hey, thanks for the message. Like, no, I'll record a voice note sometimes. I'll write a nice, thorough reply. Like, I enjoy the conversation, because for me, all of this stuff is sweeter with others. You know what I'm saying? Like, having it all, living an abundant, loving life is sweeter when other people are playing for that as well. And the relationships piece, to me, is the most important. How am I relating to myself first and foremost? And then how am I relating to others? Being in relationship with other people. So I love it. And that's why I give you guys a couple of opportunities and different ways to connect with me, so that we can get into those relationships. So yes. All right, cool. Okay, before we jump into the episode, I want to talk about this webinar that I'm doing, because it relates directly with today's topic. The webinar is going down Wednesday, October 2nd, and it's all about purpose. I'm going to help you connect with and uncover your purpose. And this is particularly powerful for those folks who are just like, I have no idea what the heck my life purpose is, and I've been feeling lost for a while. This whole conversation about purpose is frustrating. I'm confused. I don't necessarily feel like I have the direction I want in my life. Things aren't as meaningful as I want. I don't feel the fulfillment. If that's you, then you definitely want to register, because I'm going to help you carve a path through all that stuff, through all that noise, through all that confusion. I'm going to help you carve a path that's going to take you towards your purpose, 100%. And this is the same path. It's the same process that I did with myself. And so I know it works, because I've done it for myself, because I have been in that space where I felt lost and confused and frustrated. And quite frankly, I really hated talking about purpose. It made me feel uncomfortable anytime somebody, asked me that, or if I was in a group that was talking about that, or even if I saw like a blog article that talked about purpose, it just stirred something in me, because I had a lot of judgment and frustration around the fact that I had no idea what my purpose was. So to go from that to the space where I am now, where I'm very connected to my purpose, where I live it and I am being it every day, where I feel meaning and fulfillment in my life, where I feel passion, to cover that gap, like, that's a huge leap. And so I want to help you. I want to create that bridge for you so that you can get to that space as well, because let me tell you, it's way sweeter on the other side of it. However, there can be a process to getting there, and I found a process, and that's what I'm going to share with you on the webinar. The webinar is free, 100% free. I'm going to be giving you all these free tips and advice, all the stuff. I'm just giving it to you for free. And there will be a replay. So if you can't make it live on the 2nd, there's going to be a replay. But the only way you get the replay is if you register for the webinar. So it's happening again October 2nd, Wednesday, 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. Right? 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. It's going down. And you can get more info and sign up at MatthewBivens.com/purpose. MatthewBivens.com/purpose. And it's all online. You're going to be hanging out with me live. It's not going to be a thing that I've pre-recorded or anything like that. It's going to be live. There's even going to be opportunity for Q&A. So if you have questions and things, you'll be able to ask them. I'm going to answer them. I'm going to hang out and stay there the whole time. So it's going to be dope. I'm very excited. I was working on the stuff today, and I'm just super, super pumped about it. And it has, it connects directly with this conversation of purpose, right? That's what we're talking about in today's episode. That's what I talked about in the last 2 episodes. So if you've been if you've been like digging that conversation, then you definitely want to jump on the webinar, take it a step further. Again, that's at MatthewBivens.com/purpose, and it's going down live on this Wednesday, October 2nd. Hope to see you all there. All right, let's dig into this conversation because I know you're curious by the title of this episode. Don't know what your purpose is? Meh, so what? And you know what? That is the exact message that a lot of you need to hear, right? You don't know what your purpose is, so what? Instead of being frustrated and feeling stressed out, go live life. That's the message of this episode. Go and live life. Go experience your life. Stop stressing out about this stuff. I'm telling you, I'm speaking from experience. I spent a long time, and a lot of emotional energy, like heavy, soggy, wet, sticky emotional energy, worrying about my purpose, worrying about my career, worrying about my life's direction, worrying about my next move, just worrying. And I'm telling you, if I could go back and talk to myself from 10 something years ago, I would be like, yo, dude, stop it. Stop worrying. Instead, focus on the things that fill you up. Focus on the things that excite you. Focus on the things that make you feel happy and make you feel alive. You know, it's not about having this clear, concise, nice, clean little answer for the question, what is my life's purpose? That's not what it's about. At least not yet. At least not yet. Because I do believe that it is important to feel like you are connected to your life's purpose. I absolutely believe that. We are people who want meaning in life. And when you know your purpose, that can help create meaning. That can help you feel more fulfilled. That can help, build those fires of passion and drive. So I do believe that stuff is very important. However, we can spend so much time just stressing about it. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of conversation out there and podcasts like mine, TED Talks, blog articles, Instagram, all this stuff that is basically painting the picture that your best, most amazing life happens when you're clear on your purpose, or when you're living in your purpose, or when you work in your passion and you work in your purpose, because you never have to actually work a day in your life. Like that's the type of stuff that we feed people all the time. You're just being spoon-fed this stuff. So it's like you got to be on this side of the line to experience the most beautiful, happy, blissful life. But the vast majority of us are not on that side of the line. At least not all the time. Maybe you have moments where you're over there, but for the vast majority of the time, you're on the other side of the line and you're looking over envious. And what I'm telling you is to just stop that stuff, because I did that. I stood looking at the other side of the line, which means I'm looking at the people who, in my mind, know their purpose, are totally fulfilled, have meaning, live their passions, make money doing what they love, right? All that stuff. And I was sitting there not feeling any of it. Or at least if my experience didn't look like their experience, then I felt like there was something wrong and missing from me. So I sat there being frustrated and being jealous and comparing myself and being lost. But here's the thing. Yes, connecting with your purpose and knowing how you can live it every day is an awesome thing. But sometimes it's a process to get there. It's a journey to get there. A lot of times it's an evolution to get there. That's what it was like for me. I had to keep evolving. For me, it was like I built up momentum. And as I built up momentum, then I started to really get things rolling and I was moving in that direction. And the understanding that I have is that it's always a process. It's always a journey. You know what I mean? Like, it's never just a single destination where you get there, now you can rest and everything is figured out and I'm cool. No, because you're constantly changing as a person. Life is constantly changing. Things are constantly moving. So my big point is that instead of being fixated on this destination of knowing your purpose. Instead of doing that, just focus on living your happiest life today. And that might be as simple as doing things that make you feel good. And that's it. Because that emotional energy can really work in two ways. It's kind of like a tug of war. When we have that energy of emotions going, it can either be like a magnet to attract you towards the things that you want, or like the opposite side, it could repel you. And like that tug of war, it's either moving in one of those two directions. Whenever you see a tug of war, you never see them perfectly balanced and perfectly matched. It's never stationary. It's either moving in one direction or the other direction. So when you're feeling frustrated and you're feeling confused and you're feeling lost and you're sitting in those feelings, that emotional energy is being pointed in the direction of fear, of lack, of scarcity, of all the stuff that you don't want to feel. It doesn't feel great to hang out over there. But when you do something that makes you feel happy, when you do something that makes you laugh, when you do something that you're excited about, when you do something that simply gives you an ounce of good feeling, now you've swung that energy in the other direction. And when the energy is in that other direction, that's where you can start building momentum. That's where things really start churning, and it can literally like move you down the path towards connecting with purpose.
It is Ryan here, and I have a question for you. What do you do when you win? Like, are you a fist pumper, a woohooer, a hand clapper, a high fiver? I kind of like the high five, but if you want to hone in on those winning moves, check out Chumba Casino. At ChumbaCasino.com, choose from hundreds of social casino-style games for your chance to redeem serious cash prizes. There are new game releases weekly, plus free daily bonuses. So don't wait. Start having the most fun ever at ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
With Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to... Has anyone seen the bride and groom?
Sorry, we're here. We were getting lucky in the limo and we lost track of time.
No, Lucky Land Casino, with cash prizes that add up quicker than a guest registry.
In that case, I pronounce you lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Daily bonuses are waiting. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
So if I'm trying not to be vague. I know these are kind of like these big ideas that I'm trying to bring them down and ground them, because like I felt so much of this stuff. And I'll tell you, I'm going to talk about this in the webinar. I was actually going through my outline today and talking about some really key milestone moments in my life. But I'll just give you a glimpse right now. I spent so much of my time in college worried, particularly those last 2 years. My junior and senior year of college, I went to the University of Florida. I just remember like those junior and senior years, I was so worried and stressed and anxious because I didn't feel like I had figured it out yet. You know what I mean? Like I didn't feel like I had figured out what my purpose was. What was I supposed to do with my life? What made me feel fulfilled? Like I didn't know those, I didn't have answers to those questions. And so I judged myself. I compared myself to others, because when you're in university, you're seeing people doing all these really interesting things. And so I just assumed that every one of them had found their purpose and they were living it out. I assumed that my roommates had found their purpose because they had all picked majors that were connected to an actual career, where I hadn't done that. And so I was like, they're all living their purpose. And I spent so much time in that frustration, feeling lost, feeling confused, feeling judgmental. And so nothing powerful happened when my energy was pointed in that direction. Like nothing really great was happening as that stuff was going on. It was only when I got into these moments of feeling happy, when I started to do things that I felt excited about. I started to do things where I would kind of lose myself in the flow and just feel good. That's when stuff kind of started to spark off for me and new ideas came to me and I had insights and aha moments. So going back to this whole title for the episode, Don't Know What Your Purpose Is, So what? Yeah, so what? You don't know what your purpose is? So what? Don't let that pull you into feeling lost and confused and frustrated and judgmental and scarce. No. Instead, the thing to do instead is say, okay, I may not be 100% clear on what my purpose is today, but I know I have one. I know I'm here for a reason. I have faith that there is a purpose that I will connect with. I believe it exists. And I believe that I can find it. I believe that I can uncover it. Do that instead. Because what that does is it holds the space for it. It holds the space for that purpose to exist. It holds the space for your massively fulfilling life to grow and develop. When you're feeling frustrated and lost and woe is me and down on yourself and in your victim, there's no space for that stuff to grow. There isn't. That energy isn't conducive to create the space. But when you're in a space of when you're in the emotional energy of, I don't know what it is now, but I will find it. You see how there's possibility there? And so sometimes it just takes you doing something that makes you feel good to move that pendulum into that emotional, that into the emotions where you can say, you know what? Okay, I've been hitting my head on the wall with this purpose thing, but I don't have an answer, but I think there's an answer out there. That's all you need. And so it's like I'm speaking to that version of me when I'm 21. Like, dude, instead of trying to ask yourself the purpose question when you're feeling down and you're feeling frustrated, go play some basketball, go hang out with your buddies, and then ask yourself the purpose question when you're feeling better, when your energy has swung, when your emotions are on the upswing. Because I bet you if I asked myself that question in those moments, I'd be like, I don't really know, but I'm going to keep trying to figure it out. Or I don't really know, but it's got to exist, right? Like, it's got to be out there. Or you know what? Maybe it's this, right? Like, all of those things are going to move you in the direction of connecting with it eventually. And so that's the big message of today's podcast. You don't know what your purpose is? Okay, so what? Have faith. Have faith that there is purpose for you, that you will connect with it, that you can connect with it. Believe that it's possible and trust that it will happen. It will happen. It may not happen on your time frame. Because you know what? Perhaps right now, if that information was dropped in your lap, this is your purpose, it might scare the crap out of you. Yeah. It might scare you so badly that you go and bury your head in the sand and you don't come out for another 10 years. That's what might happen if you were given that information right now. So perhaps you're not ready for it. And maybe you have to, like me, go through the process of evolving to get to the space where once you can answer the question, what is your purpose? You aren't scared shitless about it. Yeah, that might be the case for you. I know it was for me. Because if somebody were to tell me, Matthew, I talked to your future self, and in 10 years, you're going to feel like your purpose is to live the most authentic, bold, fully expressed, abundant, loving version of your life that you possibly can. That's your purpose, man. So go. If someone had told that to me 10 years ago, I wouldn't know what to do with it. I wouldn't know how to operate. I hadn't built up the character. I hadn't built up the emotional maturity. I hadn't built up the trust in myself. I hadn't built up the confidence. So that's why I could not answer the question in that way 10 years ago. I needed to go through the process. And so instead of feeling all frustrated about it and mad about it and like a victim, you don't have to feel that way. Instead of feeling those emotions, get into the space of what feels great or what just feels good. What makes you feel a little bit happy? When do you feel excited? And from that space, start the inquiry a little bit. That's where you want to explore into these big life questions. When you're in that type of mind frame, that type of emotional space. So this is great because this connects perfectly with the webinar. Once again, I'm like super pumped about this because I'm sharing with you my process, the journey I went through, and the steps, like the specific steps that I took, along with the questions that I asked myself that were different from what is my life purpose. Because again, that question was too big for me at the time, or I didn't know how to answer that question. But there was other questions that I did know how to answer, that I could come up with an answer with. And I'm going to share those with you on the webinar. I'm going to share with you how to answer the question, because there's a way in which you want to answer them. I'm going to share with you what those questions are. We're going to walk through them together. And then I'm going to talk to you about what to do with your answers. And this is really, really cool because I think back like when I was 21, 22, how would I have wanted, how would have this information impacted me? Screw that, not even 22. I'm 33 right now. And it's been in the past several years that I've not only connected with my purpose, but I've fully integrated it into my life. Or maybe I've fully integrated myself into my purpose. That's only happened in the last couple of years. So no matter where you are, this isn't like a thing for you if you're in your 20s or in your 30s or in your 40s. It doesn't matter. Wherever you're at, you can connect with what your life purpose is. You can connect with that thing that gives you full meaning and then helps you feel fulfilled. You can absolutely connect with that. It's timeless. It doesn't matter when in your life it happens. And so I'm going to share with you on the webinar my process for arriving there. And I believe that this process I'm sharing has a lot of allowance in it, which is really cool. It allows you to maybe not have a full answer to that question, but you might have an answer to this question. It's really a stepping stone. It's like a stepping stone path to lead you deeper and deeper into yourself. And it's really, really cool. So I'm just excited about it. I want, if you are the type of person who really wants this information and wants to feel that connection to purpose and wants to know how to integrate it into your life and wants to know how to just maybe get one step closer to it, then I want to give you the information for that. This is really for you if you're in that space. And maybe you're the type of person who you already understand your purpose. You already got it. If that's you, then please share the webinar link, share the webinar page with somebody who isn't in your shoes yet. Somebody who who's struggling with purpose. Or maybe you see that it's purpose they're struggling with, but they identify it as something else. But you're like, you know what? If you could really connect with that thing that you feel like you're here to do and who you're here to be, boy, it's going to have a beautiful impact on your life. So share this with them. That's why I made it free, so that anybody can access it. And when I say webinar, it's just a live stream of me. That's really it. I'm going to give you a link. You go to the link, you're going to see me live. So don't be intimidated by the word webinar either. It's going to be a live stream. I'm going to be talking. You can interact with me. It's going to be really cool. So I think that if today's topic was something that was interesting to you, then you're going to get a lot from the webinar. And if you were like me in that space of just feeling frustrated and disillusioned and just kind of over all the conversation around it, then just give this one webinar a shot. Because I'm telling you, that was me, and I've created this for that person who's kind of tired of this conversation. I really have. And it's going to help you move down that path, move in that direction of honestly connecting with yourself. Connecting with your inner self. It's a beautiful thing. So I'm super excited about that. It's happening at MatthewBivens.com/webinar. It's going down this Wednesday, couple days. Oh, wait, this is publishing on Tuesday. I'm recording it earlier, but this is publishing on Tuesday. So it's going down tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow afternoon. Well, 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. Wednesday, October 2nd. That's when the webinar is happening. So go sign up. It's going to be a blast. We're going to have a lot of fun. I can't wait to see you there. Can't wait to hang out with you. And I'm holding space that you connect with purpose and that you feel it in your veins. You feel it in your bones, in your DNA, that you wake up feeling passionate and on fire, that you go to sleep feeling fulfilled because you know that you are living into your purpose during the day. That's the space I'm holding for you. And I know it's possible. I absolutely know it's possible, even if you don't. And that's cool because all you need is one person to believe something is possible in order for it to be possible. So I'm going to be that person for you. So I'm excited to connect with you on the webinar. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the podcast. And thanks for listening to all the episodes on Purpose. They've all been really great. And they're culminating in this really cool webinar. So I appreciate that. And yeah, I'm stoked. All right. I'm Matthew Bivens. Thank you for tuning in. Here is to you having it all. Quick note about the Having It All podcast. I am not a doctor nor a licensed therapist. I'm a guy with a story and a passion for conscious conversation. My thoughts, opinions, and beliefs are my own. So please consult with your doctor or healthcare provider regarding any questions or issues you have related to your personal physical or mental health.
With the Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
This is your captain speaking. We've got clear runway and the weather's fine, but we're just going to circle up here a while and get lucky. No, nothing like that. It's just these cash prizes add up quick. So I suggest you sit back, keep your tray table upright, and start getting lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.